Good morning, welcome to CATEX-TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. This is a live broadcast from Princeton, New Jersey. Today is Friday, February 18th, 2011. It's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. It's 4:30 p.m. in London, 12:30 in Hamilton, and in Mexico City, 10:30 a.m. If you need to reach us during the broadcast, you can phone in toll-free at 1-866-67-CATEX. Overseas, our AOL instant mail address is CATEX-TV. One programming note, Monday, the 21st, is a U.S. federal holiday in the United States. It is President's Day. It's the celebration of Abraham Lincoln and George Washington's birthday. There will be no broadcast that day. We'll resume again on Tuesday, the 22nd. Today's birthday, the American actor John Travolta is 57 years old today. We'll go to our main news. XL in Bermuda is the latest insurer to benefit from the New York State Insurance Department's relaxed collateral requirement rules for alien reinsurers. XL Insurance Bermuda and XL Re Limited have received approval from the regulatory body because, amongst other things, they're deemed to be financially strong enough by the credit rating agencies. The two new Bermuda-based entities can now post collateral for 20% of their loss reserves, as opposed to the 100% required by non-eligible foreign reinsurers. This is the second time XL has taken advantage of a state's relaxed rules. Last June, they obtained the same status in the state of Florida. Mike McGavick, the CEO, said, "We're extremely pleased with New York's decision and the fact that another American insurance regulator has recognized our financial position. We're proud to have qualified for reduced collateral status in the second U.S. state." News from London that SCOR's new syndicate is getting ready. They're gearing up. They're preparing to announce their full property underwriting team. They've unveiled a friend of ours, former Allied World, Brock Bank and Generali underwriter David Leatham, as head of the unit. The new syndicate is going to be called Channel Syndicate 2015. It's a turnkey operation capitalized by SCOR and managed by Whittington. It's already been announced that Tom Corfield, former Liberty Syndicate's Director of Underwriting, is its active underwriter. Joining will be Richard Harris and John Byrne. The syndicate, with a capacity of £75 million, will focus on shorter tail lines of business in markets outside the U.S. News from Bermuda. Full year 2010 net income at Allied World increased by 10% to $665 million as strong reserve releases combined with higher investment gains offset a heavier claims profile. AWAC's combined ratio increased up to about 85% from 76%. Natural cats cost the company about 12 points of that. Argo, also based in Bermuda, International Holdings, they've reported a net income of $12.8 million for the fourth quarter. This is compared to $41 million for the same period of 2009. For full year 2010, net income was $82.6 million compared to $117 million in 2009. Total revenue was $1.38 billion for 2010. In 2009, it was $1.54 billion. So they had a little bit of a dip. In London, AXA Insurance Technical and Commercial Underwriting Director Roy Watkinson has left the company. This is according to Insurance Times. Watkinson had been there for a very long time. He left 2 days after the new commercial chief executive, Amanda Blank, began her role there. AXA spokespeople confirmed that Watkinson had left. He said his role no longer exists in Amanda Blank's new structure. Watkinson couldn't be reached for comment. Yesterday, Jean Drouf, Chief Financial Operating Officer of AXA UK, said that the company is pinning its hopes on Amanda Blank to revive commercial arms fortunes. Presumably that has nothing to do with weapons. It has to do with the commercial arm of AXA UK. Commercial premiums slumped 14% in 2010. Mitsui Sumitomo is ramping up. They've made 5 appointments in its corporate and mid-market regional distribution teams in England. Clive Rogers has been appointed as casualty underwriter. He had been with CNA. Joining him is Teresa Barrett as a property underwriter. She'd been at Allianz. Gudrun Lees has been brought in as property underwriter. He had been with CV Star. Michelle Cole comes from Fusion Insurance Services, and Michael Turvey had previously been with Liberty Insurance, comes in as regional underwriter. According to Andrew McKee, the CEO of Mitsui Sumitomo at Lloyd's, these appointments will bring excellent levels of service to both brokers and clients all across our regional and different types of business. We'll go to a word from our sponsors and come back with the rest of the news. Well, in China, the price of food is increasing at a very rapid pace, a couple of points per month, actually. It's far exceeding the inflation rate, actually. And the China Insurance Regulatory Commission has picked up on this. They've urged insurers to be well prepared for agricultural insurance underwriting in 2011, ensuring that they're providing sufficient coverage for domestic cultivation to facilitate steady protection of food and rural manufacturing against flood and droughts. Those problems in China have come early this year and caused continuous problems for economic activities and food supply in, for example, drought-affected regions. According to the CIRC in a statement, underwriting must be taken actively for crops that meet the conditions for insurance in order to ensure adequate insurance coverage for the spring production. The Commission urged regional insurance regulatory bureaus and insurers to collect insurance-related drought data, saying insurers are required to process ag insurance claims rapidly and pay the compensation in full within 10 days of assessing the crop losses. That means that they want to get the money into the hands of the farmers so the farmers can quickly replant the seeds and produce the crops. The Presidential Commission to examine the BP oil spill came out with some news yesterday. They said that BP failed to adequately supervise Halliburton's work on the Gulf of Mexico oil well that ruptured, even after uncovering troubles. In a 2007 audit, the Commission said BP found that Halliburton lacked experience testing well cement work. The Chief Counsel for the National Commission on the BP Deepwater Horizon oil spill said that BP had identified issues as early as 2007 that mirrored problems at the BP Macondo well. Halliburton was in charge of designing cement to plug the well. Apparently, this is very interesting, BP's failures, according to the report, are especially troubling because it had previously identified several areas of concern during the 2007 audit. Both companies were aware that tests of the cement before the blowout showed that the recipe wasn't stable. BP didn't question Halliburton about the cement mixture, even after it failed to perform properly during testing. Once the presidential team identified issues with the cement recipe, Halliburton declined to cooperate with the investigators. They stopped. The panel unfortunately didn't have any subpoena power. BP responded that we've made every effort to understand the causes of the accident to help prevent similar events from occurring in the future. Halliburton didn't respond to an email seeking comment. Here's David Brown. He's a friend of ours. He's one of the co-founders, and he's the CEO of Flagstone. He's a good guy and a very smart guy, and he's very committed to Bermuda. He's in the Royal Gazette today, interviewed by our friend Jonathan Kent. He said that Bermuda ranks as one of the most expensive places in the world to employ people. And today, the Prime Minister, Ms. Cox, is going to be announcing the new budget, and he hopes that there's not going to be any increase in the tax burden. He said if there is, it's going to give international companies like reinsurers another reason to relocate jobs elsewhere. Brown said that last year's increase in payroll tax added about $1 million to his company's employment costs. He said, quote, "You can't keep squeezing business and expecting the golden goose to keep laying more eggs." He said the last budget was very punitive to businesses. It was negative for our view of Bermuda and added more than $1 million to our employment costs. He said, "The kind of work that we do does not have to be done in Bermuda. We can do what we do here in many other places. We really have to be careful that we don't make ourselves even more expensive." He notes that international reinsurers have a choice of where to locate jobs, and even though Switzerland and London are both expensive, they're now cheaper than Bermuda. When Mr. Brown, who is a very committed Bermudian, speaks like that, people should listen. Well, up to the north from us, Canada sustained a significant cyber attack on two of their government economic ministries, supposedly that originated in China. The attack targeted financial records but did not compromise the 2011 federal budget. This is according to a senior cabinet minister. The Canadian Broadcasting Company said that hackers used Chinese-based servers last month to break into computer systems at the country's finance department and the Treasury Department. According to Stockwell Day, the Treasury Board Minister, quote, "I wouldn't say it's the most aggressive attack, but it was a significant one. Significant that they were going after our financial records. We're able to shut things down and protect information." He said it slows down your internal operation for a while because we had to immediately shut down certain parts of the network. The budget, though, is on track, and it's going to be a good budget. According to Canadian Broadcasting Company, the hackers also gained access to an agency that advises the Canadian Armed Forces on science and technology. A Beijing Foreign Ministry spokesman denied that there was any Chinese link to the attack. Well, in our final story, I remember reading an article in the Insurance Day when the World Cup finals for cricket were slated for Mumbai. And I remember reading who had the event coverage. I'm not going to mention it on the air, but they have to be scratching their heads now. Wankhede Stadium, here's a picture of it in Mumbai, which is the venue for the World Cricket Cup final on April 2nd, has not met fire safety standards. This is about 6 weeks before the match. This is according to the chief fire officer from Mumbai this morning. He said, "We'll soon write a letter to the Mumbai Cricket Association stating that there's a need to comply with fire safety norms at the stadium." He said, "Our team has found that the newly renovated stadiums have many loopholes in its fire safety mechanism and it needs to be in compliance." The stadium also failed an inspection by the International Cricket Council back in December. But it was given the go-ahead for the 3 World Cup matches that begin on March 13th. Here's some of the problems that the Mumbai Fire Department found. They found a lack of fire hydrants, a lack of no smoking indicators. There was a lack of fire alarms and fire extinguishers, pretty basic things. The Mumbai stadium owner said there are some lapses which we need to look into, and they're comfortable they're confident that they can comfortably meet the fire department's brigades. They said, quote, "The fire brigade officials had come for a visit a few days back and they suggested a few safety norms after their visit. We're working on these and they'll be ready. There's absolutely no worry. We haven't even received a formal letter from the fire department yet." The International Cricket Association's tournament director, a gentleman named Ratnakar Shetty, said when asked about this, "I am not aware of this. I am not in Mumbai." Ay, ay, ay. Well, remember, there'll be no broadcast on Monday. It's a federal holiday in the U.S. We'll be having the Toby Esser interview on the 23rd of February on Wednesday. And in the meantime, have a good weekend and thank you for watching.